This is Iowa's News Now Sports with Curtis Fader.
There is nothing like Midwest December football. Snow, wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour and below freezing temperatures. But despite all of that, Walston Hoover Stadium was as electric as it's ever been as Wartburg attempts to make the Division III championship game for the first time in program history.
For more with the Hawkeye defense, let's sling it over to Curtis Fader.
Thanks, Owen. And like the tradition of eating a hot dog at a ball game, the Iowa defense has had a tradition of being one of the best in the nation. But with several key seniors leaving the program, we are about a few weeks away from seeing if this group of Hawkeyes can live up to those elite standards.
This afternoon, we got a chance to witness history as Caitlin Clark was named the Naismith National Player of the Year.
That is a headline to remember for Iowa fans, and Caitlin joins Megan Gustafson as only the second Iowa Hawkeye woman to ever win the award, and she has been a major factor in getting the Hawkeyes to the Final Four here in Dallas. The announcement was made just about a couple hours ago, and Clark has been widely considered the front runner thanks to her triple doubles in the Big Ten title game and Sunday night's Elite Eight game against Louisville.
Hi, sorry if there's any delay. I can barely hear myself think. The band is literally right next to me, but that's just how loud of an environment this place is really going to be tonight. This team really needs to win the Cyclones because Iowa's won a lot of the major matchups. They won the football Cyhawk. They won the wrestling Cyhawk. They won women's basketball last night. This is the chance to make the statement tonight, and why can't they? They have Jamin Lipsy. Lipsy just scored a triple-double in his last game out on the floor.
Class 1A is littered with incredible matchups this week. None better than a top 5 game between undefeated Denver. They're hosting a dangerously talented Sumner Fredericksburg Cougar squad. Micah Greer, he's the leading rusher in 1A, trying to lead Denver to 6-0 in 2023. Pick it up first quarter, the Cougars, they're on the move. Jackson Williams takes the screen pass from Davis Van Sickle. He's going 30 yards with the pigskin. Sumner Fredericksburg's approaching the red zone, and they're not leaving empty-handed. Van Sickle finds a second read and launches a beautiful 19-yard touchdown pass to Ty Van Anglenberg. Cougars take a 7-0 lead. Cyclones are looking to provide an answer to that score. Jackson Sanders drops back in. Noah Henderson picks it off and takes the ball all the way to Denver territory. Into the second quarter we go. Van Sickle drops back. Plenty of time to toss a dime. And Jackson Williams says, "Give me that!" Moss for the touchdown gives the Cougars a 13-0 lead. Sumner Fredericksburg gives Denver its first loss of the season, winning the top 5 matchup against the Cyclones 19-7. History was made at Carver Hawkeye Arena. On Sunday, the Iowa women's wrestling team hosted its first duels in the program's existence. Here are these trailblazer wrestlers performing in front of 8,207 fans. World record for a women's wrestling event. While fans could be heard loud and proud, you could still hear a pin drop. First match at Carver women's wrestling history results in a fall in the first round by Emily Gonzalez at the 101-pound weight division. Over at 116 pounds, here's Emily's identical twin sister Brianna Gonzalez, wasting no time dispatching her opponent. Brianna gets the job done in the first round as well via 10-0 tech fall. Every Hawkeye on the mat either won via fall or tech fall. Kylie Welker at 170 pounds only needed 36 seconds to put up 10 points to wrap up her match. Iowa completes a demolition job against Presbyterian. The women's wrestling world better prepare because these Hawkeyes are here and ready to dominate for years to come.
2023 Jersey Mike's Naismith Trophy for the most outstanding women's college basketball player to Caitlin Clark.
Another chapter added to the book of legacy Clark is writing on not only her incredible collegiate career at Iowa, but her impact on women's sports. Amongst a group of talented athletes alongside her atop the Reunion Tower in downtown Dallas, Clark became just the second Hawkeye in Iowa women's history to be a Naismith Trophy recipient. The other was Megan Gustafson in 2019, and you'll never guess how we found her input on Clark's immense success.
We just picked up the award with Caitlin Clark, the one with your name on it. Naismith, I know. She got it. Did you watch it? She watched it live. So we have a reporter here, and he wanted to talk to you, and I said, well, let me know. I still got connections.
I was like, yes, super excited for her. She deserves it 100%. I know what she puts in, the work that she puts into it every single day. And she can't do it without her teammates. And I love what she said about the most important part is that she's there competing in the Final Four.
Clark is also 18 points away from breaking Gustafson's Big Ten single season scoring record and is looking to lead the Hawkeyes to their first ever national title. But standing in their way is undefeated defending champion South Carolina, a big and athletic team led by back-to-back Coach of the Year Dawn Staley and back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year and 2022 Naismith Trophy winner Aaliyah Boston. Boston was a finalist for the Naismith again this season and is the projected #1 pick in this year's upcoming WNBA draft. While she came in second to Clark in Naismith voting this year, Boston sees the real winner as the growth of women's basketball.
There's never going to be any hard feelings because no matter who wins this award, no matter what year, it's just going to continue to grow women's basketball as a whole, and so I'm really happy for her.
With that being said, Clark and Boston will be enemies on the court on Friday, with the Gamecocks looking to finish off a perfect season.
They're going to game plan, we're going to game plan, we're going to be ready to show up Friday night, and I know that they are too, and so it's just going to be a fun game. I can't give you the scout, though.
In Dallas, I'm Curtis Fader, Iowa's News Now Sports.
If you're on the list, you are required to be at study tables. But you bring yourself down here, all right?
Winning has followed Ed Miles everywhere he goes, from getting his jersey retired at his high school in Tallahassee, Florida, to having a highly touted collegiate career for the Iowa Hawkeyes, followed by a spell in the NFL. But when Miles took over Jefferson's program last year, he faced his biggest challenge yet, turning around a football team who hadn't won a game in 2 years at the time. It's been a slow burn for that change as the team went winless again in 2022, but even then, with Ed Miles' arrival, these Jayhawks knew that something big was brewing.
Overall, he's brought in just a totally new attitude to the program from day one that he stepped in. He changed a lot of our off-season workouts and our programming in the weight room, and it gave us a new life.
Yeah, he's got a dog personality. I mean, when I look at the younger levels, I feel like since he's been here, they've been developing more, and he's been focusing around the whole program more as a whole.
The biggest change to the program was fitness and discipline, a tough, demanding off-season program of lifting and conditioning starting long before the crack of dawn, twice a day. Even now, these Jayhawks have been clocking in as early as 4:30 in the morning to put work in. Miles' detail and effort-oriented style of coaching can be taken from what was instilled in him as a Hawkeye.
The little things matter, and your effort is the only thing you can control. You got control of your effort that you put out, and that's what we try to preach to our players here.
Now, a year in, Miles physically and mentally built a team that went from not experiencing a win in 26 games to a team currently 3-0 and hungry for more. Even before the surprise came to fans everywhere this year, Ed saw one thing in his team that indicated that this is the year that this program heads into the right direction.
Belief. They're believing in what they're being coached to do. From last year, now they know the system, and it's more like free-flowing instead of just doing a lot of thinking when you're out there. We still got some ways to go, but I like the way we're headed.
With the goal of snapping its losing streak already achieved, this group now sets its sights on new goals.
The next goal is making it to week 10, or I guess you can call it week 11 for the first round of the playoffs. And then once you're in the playoffs, everything else is on the table, and you know, it's like may the best team win.
West side on three. 1, 2, 3, west side.
Miles and the Jayhawks have a couple favorable matchups coming up in their schedule, including the opportunity to go 4-0 tomorrow on the road against Des Moines East.